Hi there, Ryan with PNW Insurance Group here, answering another question from a viewer. So this question we actually get quite a bit, and that is um, somebody calls in and they tell me, hey, I was just talking to my friend, relative, coworker, whoever it is, and we have this almost the same insurance coverage, it sounds like, but they're paying way less than me. Why is my insurance so much more expensive? And so it's really good to understand that no two people are ever going to get the same exact insurance rate because insurance companies have pretty advanced algorithms. However, there are some key factors that you can kind of tick off, right, as to why your insurance premiums may be different from a friend. The most obvious is, of course, your driving activity, right? If you have some tickets or a past accident or claim and they don't, then yeah, your premium is probably going to be higher than theirs, right? But let's just assume that you both have the same driving records. Let's just say you both have clean driving records, no claims in the last 5 years, but your rates still aren't the same. So the next major factor that I like to talk about is geography, right? Where you live makes actually a big difference in your car insurance rates. And this is because insurance companies track how many claims and accidents happen in a given area and how much money they're paying out, in that area as opposed to other areas in your state or county, right? And so depending on where you live, typically if you live in a major city, you're going to be paying a fair bit more for car insurance than if you lived out in the country. And that's just because with more people, in the city, there's more accidents, more uninsured drivers, things tend to happen, right, in the city. And so that's a pretty common source of a differing auto insurance rates, right? So the next one would be your age, right? If you're 25 and your friend's 35, you're not going to have the same car insurance rate, right? Because it keeps getting better once you turn 21 or so, but you don't hit kind of your peak best insurance rates probably till you're about 35 or so with most insurance companies. And that goes all the way up until you turn 70, and then it starts to kind of go back the other way. So age is a big deal. Your credit score. In Washington State, insurance companies are allowed to use your credit history as a factor in how much they're going to charge you for car insurance. And it differs by each company as to how big a factor that plays, but it does, play a significant role. So if your credit history is much different than your friends, you're going to have a different rate. Your marital status is another one, right? If you are single and they're married, you actually get a little discount for being married because they assume, I guess, that you're more responsible at that point, statistically so. Um, and typically then you have more vehicles on the policy and you get a multi-vehicle discount and all that good stuff. So speaking of discounts, right, that's another big factor. Do you have your home or renter's insurance bundled with your car insurance? Are you getting safe driving discounts? Did your friend maybe do a telematics program that measures how much they drive, and so they're getting a discount because of that? A whole host of various discounts, that you could qualify for, or that you may or may not qualify for. Another one would be the type of vehicle that you drive. And this one is getting to be more and more important these days because the cost to repair a lot of these newer cars and electric vehicles is going through the roof. And so we're seeing a lot of insurance companies, if you've got a 2023 through 2025 model, or it's an EV, you're going to be paying a lot more in premium than if you had an older model traditional car, right? So that can play a big difference as well. And then other factors, that don't play maybe as big of a role, but could, is things like how long your friend has been with their insurance company versus how long you've been with yours. If somebody's been with an insurance company for 20 plus years, it's likely that they may be locked into a rate with an older program that carrier doesn't even offer anymore. And so they may be getting a significantly better rate than you could get even if you went and applied with that same insurance company. So I hope that's helped give you a pretty good idea of what some of the factors are that auto insurance companies look at when they're trying to determine a rate. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive list, but these are kind of the biggest players. So please reach out. Let us know if you have any questions or if you've had any experiences with this. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much.